What if I told you that this simple white crystal in your coffee cup has more blood on its hands than any empire in history? That it built cities, toppled kingdoms, and literally reshaped the human body? Today, we're diving into the dark, sweet story of sugar, the commodity that didn't just change what we eat, but fundamentally transformed civilization itself. For most of human history, sweetness was rare. Our ancestors might taste honey once a year, maybe some fruit in season. Then, around 8000 BCE, something changed in New Guinea. Humans discovered sugarcane, and with it, unlocked an addiction that would drive the next millennium of global politics. But sugar remained a luxury. In medieval Europe, a pound of sugar cost more than a skilled craftsman's monthly wages. It was literally called white gold, stored in locked chests alongside jewels and precious metals. The wealthy flaunted sugar through elaborate sculptures at banquets, edible art worth fortunes. But this scarcity created something dangerous, insatiable demand. And where there's demand, empires are built. European powers looked west and saw opportunity. The Caribbean islands had perfect conditions for sugarcane, but there was one problem. They needed workers. Lots of them. What happened next was one of history's greatest atrocities, all for our sweet tooth: the triangular trade. European goods to Africa, African people to the Americas, American sugar to Europe. Over 12 million Africans were enslaved and shipped across the Atlantic, with sugar plantations being their primary destination. The mortality rate on sugar plantations was staggering. Worse than silver mines, worse than tobacco farms. The average life expectancy of an enslaved person on a Caribbean sugar plantation was just 7 years after arrival. Yet the profits were so enormous that plantation owners could literally work people to death and still turn massive profits. These sweet profits built entire cities. Liverpool, Bristol, London, their grand architecture was funded by sugar money. Insurance companies like Lloyd's of London got their start insuring slave ships and plantations. Even today, many major banks and institutions can trace their founding capital to sugar wealth. But something unexpected happened. As production scaled up, prices dropped. By the 1700s, sugar was no longer just for the elite. The British working class began adding it to their tea, creating the afternoon tea culture we know today. Sugar was becoming democratized, but at a horrific human cost. Then came the revolution that shook the sugar world. In 1791, enslaved people in Haiti, then the world's largest sugar producer, rose up. The Haitian Revolution not only freed an entire nation, but sent shockwaves through the global sugar economy. Suddenly, the system didn't seem so stable. Napoleon had a problem. The British naval blockade cut off French access to Caribbean sugar, so he did something revolutionary. He industrialized sugar beet production. This wasn't just about military strategy, it was about economic independence. Within decades, sugar beet production exploded across Europe and North America. For the first time in history, temperate climates could produce sugar. This broke the tropical monopoly and began shifting power away from colonial plantation systems. The Industrial Revolution supercharged everything. Steam-powered mills, railroad networks, and mechanized refineries turned sugar from a luxury into a mass commodity. But this created a new problem: oversupply. Sugar companies needed people to consume more. Enter modern marketing. Companies like Cadbury, Hershey, and Nestle didn't just sell products, they sold sweetness as happiness, comfort, and reward. They targeted children with colorful packaging and cartoon mascots. They convinced parents that sugar gave energy and vitality. Post-World War II, America became the testing ground for a sugar-saturated society. Processed foods, soft drinks, breakfast cereals, sugar was hidden everywhere. What had once been a rare treat became a constant companion. In 2000, the average American consumed approximately 152 pounds of sugar per year. Today, the number is closer to 60 pounds, still triple what people ate in 1900. We're living through the largest dietary experiment in human history, and the results are alarming. The sugar industry learned from Big Tobacco's playbook. They funded studies that blamed fat for obesity, not sugar. They lobbied governments, influenced dietary guidelines, and created front organizations to muddy the scientific waters. Internal documents revealed they knew about sugar's health risks decades before the public did. Meanwhile, sugar production continues to exploit workers worldwide. From sugarcane cutters in Brazil earning poverty wages to child labor in sugar beet fields, the industry's dark labor practices persist, just with less visibility than the plantation era. But sugar's economic impact is undeniable. The global sugar market is worth over $60 billion annually. It employs millions, supports entire regional economies, and remains one of the most traded agricultural commodities. Countries rise and fall based on sugar prices. Today, sugar faces several challenges. Changing weather conditions are affecting traditional growing regions. Public awareness of health impacts is increasing. Some countries have introduced sugar taxes, while others are investing in alternative production methods. From sacred luxury to global commodity, from colonial exploitation to corporate manipulation, sugar's journey mirrors humanity's complex relationship with desire, power, and consequences. Every time you stir sugar into your coffee, you're participating in a story that spans continents, centuries, and continues to shape our world today. The question isn't whether sugar changed the world, it's whether we can change our relationship with sugar. Because understanding this history isn't just about the past, it's about choosing what kind of future we want to build. What do you think? Has learning about sugar's history changed how you see that innocent-looking packet? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about how ordinary things shaped extraordinary history.